very, very reputable references, researchers, scientists who are looking at cosmology and suggesting strongly that the Mayans were very serious investigators of mathematics and cosmic events, and that there may be a link between what we're witnessing in the book of Revelation. It occurs to me very strongly that this whole end-time scenario where you have in Revelation wars and rumors of wars. Right now you've got ships, American Navy vessels streaming to the Gulf again. You've got Afghani issues. You've got the military exposed and extended, totally overextended worldwide. You've got wars, rumors of wars, plagues. This is not just AIDS. This is not just H1N1. This is all of the plagues that the pharmaceutical industrialists have brought on. The book of Revelation says that those who deceived the wealthiest men of all the nations in the end times practiced sorcery. The root word in concordance of sorcery is pharmaceuticals, pharmacopoeia, pharmaceuticals. These are the pharmaceutical industrialists. This is the Partnership for New York City. These people also cast magic spells. Magic spells. What is that? Hypnosis. What is that? Trance states. What is that? Television. What is that? Broadcasting media. Watch people when they watch TV. They don't blink. What is the standard clinical definition of hypnosis? Quote, relaxation coupled with clear channel for communication. End quote. You've got the people hypnotized. That's why they don't believe that they're going to die from getting vaccinated. That's why the medical deities, the MDs, believe that what they're doing is good, because they're completely hypnotized by who? This again, the media moguls that wield all this propaganda and the pharmaceutical industrialists that are allied with them. This is the Partnership for New York City. So we're dealing with the end-time scenario whereby the Bible tells you that there's going to be more than 50% of the population reduced. You've got the Population Council along with Partnership for New York City, both founded by David Rockefeller and the Rockefeller brothers. They're both being funded and supported by the United States federal government, by the government of England. Partnership for New York City was chartered by the royal family of England. And that what we're witnessing is neocolonialism or globalism, whereby the Brits have been for a long time engaged in genocide. And basically what we're witnessing now is the fulfillment of that. And so to answer your question, I suspect that it's not the vaccine that's going to have the final death toll. It's going to be what the vaccine carries that then the people shed. Because when the children now that are getting the flu mist, and not just children, the adults. I was in Home Depot the other day, and one of the sales reps told me he was about to go in the back room where the office has a box full of the flu mist that are for the employees. They're simply told, go get your flu mist and shoot it up your nose. Well, if you do that, then you're going to be shedding live active H1N1 triple recombinant for 3 weeks. Up to 3 weeks, a live virus is going to be sneezed, spit, it's going to come out of you, and that any people that you contact then, and that's the greatest risk for our unvaccinated population. Our children that go to school with other children that have just gotten the flu mist, guess what? They're going to get exposed. And because the circulating viruses are susceptible to recombining with H1N1, and in fact, because this is a new laboratory recombinant, I mean, I literally studied it, and this was what I first did back in April. I was the first one, and my number one YouTube hit was the special report on the Mexican outbreak back in April. I basically broke the news of where this virus came from, and in the process I told you that this has to be a laboratory outbreak because it's a never-before-seen recombination of the 1918 Spanish flu genetics which was dug up in 1997 by one of the most despicable men in medical history. Dr. David Sensor went on a covert operation with controlled by Central Intelligence Agency up to Alaska to dig up a 1918 Spanish flu corpse, and that to then identify the virus that killed the corpse and then be able to then recreate it in a lab, which they did. And so we knew it was a matter of time when they did that against the outcries of the international scientific community, because all of the scientists who knew anything about virology and genetics knew if they're going to do this, resurrect a virus that killed 50 million people, the damn thing is going to come out of the lab one of these days. And so here's the day. April 2009, this H1N1 has avian flu, it has Mexican pig, and it's got 1918 dead corpse genetics. And so this is what we're witnessing. Now, a new laboratory recombinant like that, you have to understand, if you take 3 sheets of paper and you then tape them together, that's kind of like what you've got. You don't have a stable piece of paper. You've got where it flexes in certain splice points, and it's highly susceptible to breakage. And it breaks when it gets in contact with another piece of paper, in this case, let's say H5N1. So when a H1N1, highly unstable, new laboratory recombinant, and again, to give you further background so that you understand this, these laboratory recombinants are not like millennia-old viruses, millennia-old flu influenza viruses have been around for thousands of years, and they're stable. They're relatively stable. If they jump from one person to another, let's say, they change maybe 3% in genetics. If you take an AIDS virus, because it too is a laboratory creation, it jumps from one person to another, it is 6% different, which indicates it's already not millennia old, it's a new laboratory recombinant. But now you've got a triple recombinant, virtually manufactured this year, that if it jumps from one person to another, it's going to be, 10%, maybe even more, 15% different, and because it's contacting other viruses that are in everyone. Now, there are cancer viruses in everybody thanks to the other vaccinations. From the polio vaccines, there's SV40 in us. And I can show you in the book Emerging Viruses the research studies that were done recombining influenza, the flu, with leukemia, acute lymphocytic leukemia. That's quick-acting leukemia. So I can tell you Dr. Alfred Hellman from the United States Navy oversaw that spraying technology and virology, where they would aerosolize quick-spreading aerosolized cancer. That is what we're looking at now as a risk. As all of these fools go line up and get injected with this stuff, they then will spread it to other people. And in the process,
people aren't getting the injection. Is there anything that we can cleanse our bodies with or build our immune system up with, or any advice you can give us to try to help protect us from getting it?
Yes, absolutely. Number one, full faith and trust and power of prayer in the Creator. Number two, get OxySilver. Research it, because it's not only going to protect you against the infectious diseases, it has the capacity to terminate all reliance on vaccinations and antibiotics. Ultimately, it has the power. If people just understood what they're withholding and what the capability is of OxySilver, they would find that there's no need at all for all the antibiotics, all the vaccinations, and you put Big Pharma out of business. So we rely on OxySilver in my family and my friends, and it's extremely powerful if you use it as directed, which includes prayer. You use it with prayer. And I could tell you, I could spend 15 minutes explaining why, but ultimately, check out OxySilver. Go to Flu To-Dos on fluscam.com. It gives you the background to understanding that the flu is typically a wonderful thing. We shouldn't be vaccinating ourselves against the flu. Vitamin C is a great antiviral in megadoses. You can rely on vitamin C in megadoses to keep you healthy. Go up to the bowel tolerance dose. Vitamin D and lots of good sunshine. That's wonderful. That'll keep you healthy. Alkalinizing your body, 2 to 20